Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. As always, thanks for watching us. Today we are at the Cloud Expo 2011 in New York, and on our program is Tim Negris. He's the VP of Marketing of 1010 Data. And Tim, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
So tell us about your company, Tim.
Sure. 1010 Data is a company that's been around for 10 years now, but not very well known, just quietly selling by word of mouth. What 1010 Data is a cloud-based analytics platform that allows quantitative analysts to work directly with extremely large amounts of data, as you would find in retail, banking, and a number of other industries.
Is it software? Is it a package?
It's a cloud-based service. So a retailer like, say, Dollar General subscribes to our service. They load all of their data, in their case point-of-sale data, billions of transactions, into our data cloud, and then they use our tools to analyze that data through a web browser.
So theoretically, to use it to, in this case, to take the analogy one step further, to determine a place that might make sense for them to open new stores,
for
maybe
example,
where the customers
yes,
are coming
sure.
from, or
market basket analysis is very common in retail, where certain products tend to sell with other products, and sometimes it's obvious, beer and chips, but sometimes it's not so obvious. For example, very often beer or diapers are sold with beer. It just so happens.
Having children, I can definitely understand
relate,
that,
right?
Yes.
So it's the analytics allows you to discover patterns like that in the information. With telecom, it might be trying to prevent what's called churn, customers switching from one company to another. In a hedge fund, it might be developing a model for risk management. So it's all over the map. Pretty much all industries have this kind of analytical need.
Quant funds, I would imagine, would be great users of something like this to churn through massive amounts of backward-looking data to determine trends.
Right, absolutely. And so we're, as far as I know, the only such company operating purely in the cloud, always have been in the cloud for 10 years. 1010 Data was cloud before the cloud was cloud. So
tell me about the analytics tools. How sophisticated are they?
Well, from a user standpoint, they're very easy to use. Anybody who could use an Excel spreadsheet, for example, could easily use 1010 Data. It is a combination of things, various analytical functions that statistical analysts would commonly use, as well as text analysis functions and so forth. Everything you need pretty much to look at the values in a bunch of data and figure out what they mean to each other, total them up, manipulate them mathematically, and so on. And then there's a lot of prepared canned functions as well, so a less experienced user can just plug values in and use the system that way. So there's a wide range of capabilities in there.
So lately there have been a lot of companies in the electronic trading market, like the Scottrades, the E-Trades, the Schwabs, that have been trying to bring more technical trading, or let's just say trading using technology, down to the level of the everyday person, where you can backward test your ideas and things like that. Is there any potential for your technology, or has that come up, where one of those trading houses or brokerage firms has come to you to try to bring it to the masses?
Not typically. The kinds of analytical functions that our services use for tend to be far more sophisticated, very involved, where you have a whole strategy of mathematical computations that you're doing, or data transformations. So, and also against very large amounts of data. So the New York Stock Exchange itself is one of our longest standing customers, and every single day, every single trade on the New York Stock Exchange goes into the 1010 Data Cloud. In that particular case, they use that information for a wide variety of different purposes.
I would imagine fraud detection and things like that, insider trading.
We act as a data fiduciary, so we actually don't know what a lot of our customers do with our software and with their data in our cloud.
That's just my hypothesis, but makes sense.
It could very well be. The NYSE is a very progressive organization looking for new ways to exploit technology, And so a lot of decision making in business in general has become data driven.
Sure.
And so being able to analyze everything that happens in your business, whether it's every point of sale transaction, every stock trade, every mortgage that's ever been written, whatever it might be,
sure.
The ability to easily look at all that data and say, what happens when this set of circumstances is true? What are these kinds of customers? What are they doing in our stores? And all kinds of exploratory type of things.
Okay, other than the fact that the amount of data is increasing exponentially that everyone's storing, what other trends are you seeing in the market?
Well, something that we're seeing in our customers that I find very interesting is a number of our customers are finding ways to monetize big data. They have large amounts of data, point of sale transactions, other types of information that their business has accumulated, and that information has value to other businesses. In one case in particular, a very large drugstore chain. In another case, a very large discount chain. And they have billions of records of point of sale data that they now are monetizing and allowing their suppliers to look at online. So they're building their own commercial data clouds.
And they can do that. I mean, and I don't want to point anyone out, but there's one pharmacy chain that has started this loyalty card where they give you coupons and things like that if you scan your loyalty card whenever you buy something. And so they know where I live, for example, and so they're able to use my demographics using Dun & Bradstreet and other databases to learn a lot about me and then cross-reference that with what I buy.
That's exactly what our customers are doing, and you're probably talking about one of our customers, I'm guessing.
It has 3 letters in its name, but we don't want to be specific and get anyone in trouble.
Right. And so, but that's exactly the kind of thing. You're quite correct. Figuring out what customers buy, when they buy it, why they buy it, what they buy it with, certain times of the year, certain times of the day, customers from certain zip codes, certain demographics. All of those facts enter into why a customer does what they do. And so, the more you can know that, the better you can plan your stores, plan promotions, and improve the whole shopping experience. Target pricing more carefully so that you're always getting as much margin as you can get. All of these things are assisted by advanced analytics.
Now, you didn't mention marketing, which is what I've noticed. I've noticed that when I buy things, that a competitor will be prominently featured in coupon offers that I get from my pharmacy. So subsequently, that's the same concept where they're getting that information and seeing that a competitive product was purchased by me, and maybe I'll switch.
Marketing has substantially driven the use of business analytics to date, but some interesting data has come up just recently showing that the use of analytics in marketing has become more or less steady state. Everybody's doing it. In areas like supply chain, enterprise resource planning, many other parts of the business are now discovering analytics and applying them. So there are certain parts of the business that have made good use of this type of technology for many years, and there's lots of solutions out there and lots of ways they could go. Whereas in other cases, analyzing your inventory, analyzing the movement of goods through your system, analyzing your logistics, whatever it might be, these are new targets, and a lot of that is being driven by the availability of sensor data, which is another trend. So every truck is generating a massive amount of information every time it stops or speeds up or whatever it might be. And all of that information will figure into insurance premiums that the company will pay on their drivers, any number of things. So as the big data is getting bigger, as you said, and it's more different kinds of sources of data as well. Your cell phone generates global positioning data, generates a variety of other data about how you use the phone throughout the day. And all of that information is potentially actionable, not just from retailers and marketing people, but also your insurance company might use it to give you a better policy premium. Your investment company might use it to expose you to certain instruments that you could do particularly well with, given your overall trading profile, for example.
Right. So, Tim, I hate to bring this back to marketing, but there is another area, social CRM, just the intersection of all the chatter of communications online with Facebook and Twitter and others, and brands trying to make heads and tails of all the things that are going on. Have you seen customers interested in that intersection at all?
Yes, certainly. Big data really has three kinds. There's structured data, what we think of when we think of a series of records in a database. And there's unstructured data at the other end of the spectrum, which would be like a chat entry or a blog entry. And then in the middle you have what's sometimes referred to as semi-structured data, which is data that has a certain amount of form to it, like SMS messages or tweets or log records in a piece of machinery or anything like that. And so a lot of the social analysis really relies on all three of those. You're analyzing the text, you're analyzing records of chat log frequencies and things like that, and you're analyzing other things like customer information and so on. All of those things together tend to contribute to social insight. We tend to focus on the structured and semi-structured part of that equation, and look to other companies to focus on the text analysis. It's a slightly different set of technology.
Okay. And so what's next?
For us or for the world in general?
For you.
We are...
Unless you know what's next for the world in general.
I can only guess at that one.
You can tell us that one.
I can only guess at that one. We're finding a lot of customers are finding us. A lot of people are hearing good things from our customers. So we recently took in a fairly sizable amount of funding, even though we were already profitable, because we decided the time was right to really expand our market reach and enter some new verticals and do a lot more promotion and let people know we're here. So putting the word out there in a big way, I think, is the big thing that's next for me anyway.
Well, we're excited to have you here on the program, and thanks for sharing with us today.
Thank you very much.